And finally is the incarnation. Step into that creative energy. Incarnate that Shakti within you. Bring out that Shakti. In for Vishnu, there's the Dasavadaram, and in Goddess Shakti, there's all this. She has endless energy. So this is your chance to manifest. We are the universe. We are everything and anything, and we are everywhere, and we are everything and everything in between, and ensure dignity and equality, particularly for women, girl childs who face female genital mutilation. There are girl childs who are not allowed to have education, like in Afghanistan. If the next world war is to be fought, it's going to be a war on water. Namaste, Jai Ma. We started experiencing what the 9 rasas would be, the 9 emotions. So, just a quick review. Not just in my session, but in all the other sessions that have flowed, you have been taken through a beautiful combination of experiences that by now should give you all the grounding, all the skills, all the necessary tools to manage our emotions. As we know, with all the practices that we have learned so far and experienced, managing emotions is the key. With that also, we went into what we call the Navarasas, or the six, and in particular, the 6 days. Because we know that what we put through us, through our body, in the form of food, in the form of liquids, in the form of anything that we put on our body, has an impact on our emotions. And our emotions also drive what we eat, what we drink, what we experience. And it has an effect on our body, on our conduct, and on our well being. So that is something that we went through in great depth. And then next, we moved on to mastery of the 5 elements, the 5 elements within our system: the earth element, the water element, the fire element, the air element, the ether element. All these also relate to our 5 senses, right? And then with that, also, we went through several meditations, didn't we? In the 3 days that we were together, the last time that I was running my sessions, we went through various levels of meditation using colors, using the elements, using the chakras. We went into all the 7 different chakras. In the process of meditation, there was this process of connecting to the divine at every chakra. So we actually added on more and more and more layers of divinity, of richness, of the essence. And when you did that Kalavahana, and yesterday we did the special Siri Jodi Puja, we actually really went deeper and deeper and deeper into that connection with the divine, with all the different manifestations, with the different versions of the Shakti that we experience. And also, you get to choose at any given breath, as we do our breath work, as we do all our meditation practices, we get to experience Mother in whatever form she appears. Accept every form, never question, just be grateful, just be graceful, because that's how she manifests her greatness within us. If you at any time in your meditation experience a particular color, the color that just comes to you through your third eye, the color that you feel enveloping you with protection, the color that goes through all parts of your body, all parts of your aura, all parts of your consciousness. Work with that energy. Accept. That is how energy works within us. When Sujata was doing this beautiful healing session yesterday with us. Again, we were taken through waves and waves of energy, waves and waves of colors, waves and waves through all our chakras, waves and waves through our entire cosmic consciousness. It was there. It was there in everything that we were experiencing. So, before proceeding to the final segments of my presentation, because as you know, where we took you through the last round was we took you through the seven superpowers or super qualities of Shakti leadership in my segment, starting with balance, which is grounding, which is being able to manage every aspect of your life and with balance. A lot of our life has a lot of imbalances, maybe physical imbalances, maybe, which is what probably I experienced in that cleansing that I went through with that illness that I had like 3-4 days ago. Maybe I really needed to release something. Probably I had a lot of toxins that came from God knows what all has been around me and within me. Right. So that was a form of release for me. And I'm grateful for that experience. Yeah. And after balance, we looked at this power of transformation. And the power of transformation, I had asked you to do meditations where you shift shape. You actually transform yourself maybe into the goddess energy that you resonate with at any given time. Transform yourself into a beautiful flower. Transform yourself into your spirit animal. Transforming is actually imbibing and allowing to permeate all those qualities of a particular animal, a particular tree, a particular plant, or a particular devi at that given moment in time that you call upon to bring out your greatest good. After transformation, we went into power, stepping into your power, feeling your power, knowing your power, experiencing your power, sharing your power, manifesting that power through all that you have learned in all these almost 20 days today, 20 days, 21 already, 20 today, 20 days, and even all the things that you have had since childhood. Because remember, when I started with you on day one, I brought you to your inner child. I got you to go back to what you were when you were just 0 to 5 years old, or even 0 to 12 years old. Because at that stage, it's pure Shakti, Bala Shakti, Bala Tirupurusundri, Bala. Bala is that state of innocence, playfulness, joy, unbridled energy. All that you can manifest in you when you came and went into this body that you are in this life is Bala. And I brought you back to that. Always at any given moment in time, you give yourself permission to go back to your inner child. Let your inner child work, because mother's energy, I have experienced in my own lifetime, mother's energy works the most beautiful within me when I actually step into my inner child. Never be shy or afraid. Yes, please.
For those of us who didn't really embody our childhood because of illness or family
Yes.
situations, how can we embody that bala now, but still have maturity and self-responsibility in our relationships, making sure we don't bring kind of the immaturity of the inner child along with that archetype or embodiment?
That's a very good question. So Bala evolves, right? This is the power of transformation and taking that transformative energy and turning it into power and turning it into love. So reach into the time when Bala flowered. It could be the puberty, it could be in your teens, it could be the time when you first went to college or university. You're still pure energy, you're growing, you're evolving, you're expanding. It's sometimes the point when you have an aha moment about what you want to do with your life or your career, or where you want to live, or where you most connect. Like if you love to sit under trees, you love a particular sport, you love creating a particular type of food. Bala will manifest in that power and the love that you manifest. So if you are powerful, if you feel powerful doing something, if you feel powerful sharing something, if you love offering something when in your prayer, it could be particular flowers, it could be particular neighbor, food, that is the child within you. That's when I say child, actually, it's that soul, that pure soul that came into this world before family conditioning, before teachers told you what to do or not to do in school, before policemen stopped you and said you shouldn't cycle like that. And I got caught. I love cycling. So, all that free spirited energy got curbed. Yeah. And curtailed. So this is that energy that we want to bring out. Right.
Thank you so much for your teachings. I'm loving this. I heard it's more of a comment, and maybe you can comment back. I heard recently, I think this is an Indian tradition or thought, that the inner child really develops and is in itself up to the age of 5. And that that is maybe when we're more in our bliss before trauma tends to set in. And I think that there are people who carry a picture of themselves in their wallet when they're a small child. That came to me before I came here, and my father took a lot of photos, and I asked him for some childhood photos of me, which he was thrown by, but I found some really precious ones that were helping me tap into my healthy inner child. I wonder if you can comment on that.
I'm not sure about that practice. I mean, I didn't grow up in India. I grew up in Malaysia. So I'm not sure if it's a cultural practice or just a particular community practice. However, there's nothing whatsoever wrong about looking at your photos, looking at beautiful memories. There's nothing wrong with that. Anything that brings you back to center. I always say, bring you back to what is inside of you, right? Yeah.
This is just very, very quick. I love the relationship between the word innocence and inner sense.
Yes. That's profound, actually. In the connection between innocence and inner sense. It's before all that muck came, all that muck, like that lotus, you're blossoming out of this big, muddy, dark pool. And you want to bring that lotus up to reach the sunlight. And it doesn't matter how deep that dark pool is, how dirty, how smelly, how horrible it is, because you're still that lotus, that innocence, that inner sense. That's your lotus. That's your Padma. That's what you experience through all the teachings so far. So, with that, let me then start with a beautiful invocation. Those of you who know Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, this is the invocation of Devi in every element, every pore of our body, every part of the atmosphere. And I have an offering. I actually have a gift to give each of you, and I would like you to come up at this point, because while this Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu is coming on, it is a time for me to honor you, because I'm not just the teacher. You are the teacher. I've learned so much from all of you. You are all my guru. So we have gone into the 7 superpowers, I like to call them, but they are super qualities of Shakti leaders. We move from balance to transformation, from transformation to power, from power to love. Today we will look at the other 3, and then we will round off with how some of the various teachings you have learned along the 20 days would make sense in the context of this. All right. So if you recall, the remaining 3 are creativity. And you've experienced creativity in many of the activities and programs throughout these 20 days. But now when you go back to your daily lives, how creative will you be in any given moment? What does creativity look like to you? It is actually a very practical dimension to work with. I always perceive creativity as being a combination of the second chakra, the heart chakra, and the throat chakra, because you conceive, you conceive, you visualize, you conceive, you use your love, and you move to speak the truth and be authentic. And when we are authentic, we are at our most creative. So how do we actually manifest creativity? How do we actually master creativity? How do we work with developing creativity? Have a clear vision of your intended outcome. Okay? All of you over 20 days, you have imbibed so much. So when you go back to your home countries, for the next place that you move to, even if you're not moving back to your home country, you may be moving somewhere else. Maybe in this 20 days has unlocked a new horizon for you. What is it that you want to create and manifest in your life? And you need to imagine it. And so when we go into meditation, there have been so many meditation exercises we have gone through. Imagine your creation. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Sound like? Gather information. A lot of people have great dreams and ideas, but they don't translate them into action because you really need to do research. Information is power. And I know Nilima covered quite a bit in your slides, and I think even Magyan, when she was speaking, talked about, all that information that has been downloaded onto you. That really helps, because with that information comes supreme knowledge. And we have gathered enough supreme knowledge in the last 20 days. Analyze this information. Everything in the last 20 days makes perfect sense. Just go back and review your notes, review them daily, your journal. Your journal, every word you've written there are diamonds waiting to be polished, waiting to be revealed. Don't let them just remain in your journal. Everything, every speaker, every yoga master, everyone in this room has shared, even during question time. And if you made notes of those answers, they are the diamonds of creativity waiting for you to display in the way that you choose. Every creation needs incubation. You can't rush the process, right? So with meditation can come in many forms. Music, songs that you compose, dances that you dance to. Like Nilima is going to have the dance of the 5 elements that I'm missing, but I want to see that on video, hopefully on YouTube. Poetry. How many of you compose poetry? Yes. Contact with nature. Going and being among trees, plants, animals. I do that a lot. And I know that for me, nature is the greatest way for me to incubate my ideas, my creations. For me, I'm a natural connector with nature, even with the ocean, with rivers like Ma Ganga, right? Insight. Insight is another key thing. Insight is the ability to see beyond the known. And this is what we have done in all our meditations. It has taken beyond us beyond the form, beyond just that external shell. And we can see sequences of events in our deepest meditation, right? Inspiration comes next. So we have, just for those who did not write the notes, you have your intended outcome. You have information gathering, because information is power. You have an information analysis. Then you have incubation through all forms of meditation, letting go, finding all the practices that you love to give you the quantum leap in creativity. All of us want that quantum leap. After incubation comes insight. Insight, seeing beyond the known. Then comes inspiration. What is inspiration? When we are in spirit, every day, every given moment we have been together in spirit, right? Every opportunity that we have had in Shaktikum has been an inspiration, because it's a union between the known and the unknown. And this is where we have achieved balance and harmony. And then all of us know everything needs implementation. So, how are you going to use your finesse? Right time, right place, right people, right setting to implement your most creative self. And when you implement, you will need integration. You know, there is no one aspect of you that can do it all. You have many qualities. You have many shaktis within you. Remember, we have the Dasa Mahavidyas, right? We have all those within us. And we were told how to invoke, how to use mantras, how to use all the practices we have learned. So then comes integration. How are we integrating it? Maybe today it's a Kal Bhairavir moment. Maybe this whole week has got to be Bhairavi because everything is time sensitive. Everything is about time or sheer timelessness. Maybe tomorrow it is Bhuvaneshwari. I frequently find Bhuvaneshwari downloaded into me because I'm in a state of doing, I'm always in a state of giving. You can tell. I'm here to give. So I give, I bestow, I share abundance. I'm in the mode of fundraising and doing massive projects to relieve poverty and to empower women and to educate children and everything. So a lot of the time I'm Lakshmi as well, Ashtalakshmi. So, each of us has an aspect that we use to integrate for implementation. And finally is the incarnation. Step into that. Step into that creative energy. Incarnate that Shakti within you. Bring out that Shakti. For Vishnu, there's the Dasavadaram, and in Goddess Shakti, there's all this. She has endless energy. So this is your chance to manifest that and bring it to reality. The one thing I can share with you in my practices is that the challenge daily when we wake up and get going in our daily routine is to be able to move beyond what detracts us, what distracts us, what detracts us from our goals, deviate, diverts us from our goals. There'll be phone calls, there'll be social media, there'll be television, there'll be people dropping by in our house unannounced, there'll be disruptions, power failures. God's grace, no power failure now while we're going on with this session. These are the detractions, distractions, disruptions, all the which also is dis-ease, like what I suffered, the sickness, like we suffer dis-ease. Now I'm easy because there's no dis-ease, right? So let go of whatever is holding you back, and that includes any toxic habits. Many of us have habits only known to ourselves. Just let it go. Let go of those emotions. Let go of relationships that are toxic, that are holding you back. Ginny did a very, very good. Ginny's sessions were amazing. I could feel just in yesterday and today with Ginny Manchester, so much of the toxins I could. There's aura. So I get to see aura through my third eye, and I could, Ginny, I just give you feedback, love. The amount of toxins that were just being released into the atmosphere, more than gets released in all the Havans that we've had in 20 days. Ginny, you just unlock certain portals with this secret knowledge that you shared with us yesterday and today. Ginny, we are forever grateful for detoxifying us. There's been so many processes. I cannot even name a particular guru here. Every session, everybody did some form of release, some form of purification. And today it was so beautiful. I just feel that Ginny, it was meant to be the way we all work together, session after session. It's just divine providence, mass providence, forever grateful. Always practice with clarity of vision. And clarity of vision definitely comes from our breath work and from meditation. Definitely, I always feel that Now let's just move the slides along. We are going to go to intention and transcendence. In our experiential learning, I'm not going to dwell on this slide too long, but if you notice with every sector or every person that came and shared knowledge with you, there were issues around discomfort, whether it's the menstrual cycle, red tent, or whether it is abuse or whatever. We were asked to look inside ourselves with powerful questions, deep, powerful questions. We hoped and prayed as your trainers and empowerment coaches that you practice active listening. Active listening is when you stop the monkey mind and the chatter and actually really, really deeply connect and listen. We have had lots of sharing and learning. I think we've had plenty of time within here, the hall, and outside to reflect. And we've had also a lot of group and individual assessment time. And now it's your chance to transform, to change for transformation, and to reach a state of balance so that you are ready to begin your new cycle as Shakti. So let's move to that. A Shakti leadership plan, action plan, I borrow from the Japanese. Actually, in my lifetime, I'm not a historian, I'm actually a science background person by nature, who is a scientist, mathematician type who became a lawyer and an investment banker. But inside me, maybe through my past lives, has been a calling to study certain civilizations. So, Indian civilization, obviously, and the Egyptians, even the Celtic, because I've seen my past life. So I know that I've held a Celtic past life. I've had an Egyptian past life. I've had an Indian past life in India in Mother Shakti Ma here. I've had a Japanese past life. So I went to Japan for a world convention and I was speaking in Yokohama at a world convention. Ma appeared in the room, in my hotel room, the day before I was to check out and said, "You're not going home. You're going to Kyoto." And I'm like, "Oh my God, how do I get to Kyoto? I'm not Japanese. I'm just here for a conference. I'm just a foreigner in a foreign land." And then I just happened to meet two people over lunch that day itself who are from Kyoto. I just happened to be sitting next to them. So therefore, there's no accidents, right? Just meant to be. We all randomly sit and have lunch during a convention. So I went to Kyoto with the help of these ladies who told me which train to take, how to get there, where to stay. One of them had a boutique hotel. So they said, "You could stay there. We'll get you a family discount rate." So that was great because I wasn't budgeting to go to Kyoto. But I ended up staying in Kyoto for 3 days. And in the process, I wandered all over Kyoto on my own. I wasn't in a tour group. I just would pray and meditate and ask Ma to take me to whichever temples, whichever palaces, whichever bamboo forest, whichever mountain, wherever Mother wanted me to go, I went. I saw Mother in Japan. I saw Mother big and beautiful and bountiful. Her energy is so magnificent. And then I asked Mother, I said, "Why are the Japanese women bound? Their clothing binds them, and all that history of subjugation and dominance of women and everything." And then Ma showed me, Ma showed me temples, Ma showed me places where the Shakti is so big and that it is just the patriarchal. During the samurai era and during that wars and everything, men became so powerful that they just dominated the Japanese way of life and the whole culture in Japan changed. But I just want to bring you to Ikigai. Ikigai is the Japanese a state of being where when you know what you love, when you know what you're good at, and when you know what you can be paid for, and you know what the world needs, that's when you can really live in a state of Ikigai. So let's look into this in a little bit more. All of us came as little children before the world told us what to study, what subjects to study, what course to do, what job to go into. You know what you love. What you love, you have your passion, and with that passion, you have a mission. If you meditate deeply, quietly, and go into the depths of your being, Mother will help to illuminate and shine a light on your passion. Shine her energy. She will bring her gift of her energy into your mission. And that is to help you realize what you love. It helps you then to channel into what you are good at. So when you know what you love and when you know what you're good at, what you're good at could be, say, for example, baking cakes. And maybe what you love is working with specific ingredients, maybe providing food to certain types of people or in a certain scenario. So then you turn what you love and what you're good at into your passion. Because what you love and what you're good at coming together becomes your passion, your driving force. And then you step into your power, you bring your power, and you manifest your power. When you develop that through a educational system, through courses, maybe even what you've learned in Shakti Kum, it can become your vocation or your profession. So when you put what you're good at together with what you can be paid for, that's your profession, that's your primary income. Your day to day, what sustains you in the day to day world, helps pay your bills, keeps a roof over your head, gives you food to eat, gives you clothes to wear, support your children, your retirement plan, your savings. That's all bringing together what you're good at with what you can be paid for. However, when you transcend what you are paid for to what the world needs, that becomes your vocation. That's your calling. Nilima is going to Mexico. There's a calling to bring all this together and take it to Mexico, right? And that's what the world needs. That's what the world needs in Mexico. But the world needs Nilima everywhere. The world needs Ginny Manchester everywhere. The world needs Sujata everywhere. The world needs all of you everywhere. You get to choose. You get to choose. And that's where it's so important to be creative. Creative in your choices. Creative in looking at the situation life places you in. So if life places you in a certain country with a certain set of people, with a certain set of circumstances, that's not your limitation. That's actually your untapped potential. Never look at the place you reside, the family that you belong to, the city that you live in, the time in which we live in post-pandemic. Don't look at it as obstacles. Don't look at it as limitations. Look at it as untapped potential. We live in these times for a reason. We choose to come into this world for a reason because we know what we love, what we are good at, what we can be paid for, certainly is what the world needs, right? And when you realize that all this you can bring together, every day is an Ikigai day. Every moment is an Ikigai moment. And with that, we actually know what we need to happen. Nilima, you have something you wish to add? Nilima, I sense it in you, dear. Please share.
I was telling my colleague Raj Sisodia, who's with Tech Day Monterrey in Mexico, like, oh, I'll have to come and live here for 3 years. And he said, you get to come and live here for 3 years. So if you reframe the have to get, I get to do this. Suddenly you see the opportunity in it, the potential in it, the gift of it. I get to do this instead of, oh, I have to do this.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that is the crystallization of intention. Intention is your dreams and goals coming to fruition. How can we move all of us in this room from Shakti Kum into a state of intention, being and doing? There's always a time for learning. There's always a time for receiving. There's always a time for listening. However, your true Shakti, your true potency when you leave us, the Shakti Kumbh and go back, will be when you are in a state of being Shakti, doing Shakti in every aspect of your life and with great intention. Intention has certain qualities. Confidence. Confidence. When we invoke Mother, we are confident. Mother works through us. We are her channel. So therefore, why fear? Why fear? Because Mother is within us. You are precise because we have that third eye, we have that precision, we have focus. Meditation teaches us to be focused. So with precision comes the best application. Otherwise, we are all scattered all over the place. Great ideas, great hopes, wonderful, wonderful dreams, but we don't manifest it. Precision leads to integrity. Integrity of our innermost being, integrity in our words, integrity in our actions. Because when we have integrity in our being, integrity in how we feel, how we think, how we speak, then we have integrity in our actions. And we radiate energy. All of us radiate energy, and we will have so much of charisma. So, here are some tips that I can share to help you ground your intention, deeply ground your intention. Always sit silently any time of the day. It doesn't have to be morning. Even the midst of a very busy day, even when I go to the Delhi airport today and I've got like maybe 4 or 5 hours before I take the midnight flight to Kuala Lumpur, I will just go within. You know, we have learned all these practices. Just go within. Put your attention on your heart. You know, so many of our practitioners here have brought us to the heart center, right? Every single one, I remember, at some point brought us to the heart. The heart is where we flower our intention. Put your attention to the heart, silence your mind, follow your breath, and then ask, what do I want? We need to ask ourselves, what do I want every day? But more importantly, what do I need? I remember even in, I think it was Sadhviji's satsang, somebody asked a question around that. And the answer was always ask what you need. Our list of wants can be a mile long, but what we need, that's the deep question, right? The deepest question is what we need. And when we do so, when we seed intention, a very, very, very powerful way to manifest your intentions is to do it without being selfish. Never be selfish. And yet, be self-centered. Centered, you know, there's a difference between being selfish. Oh, I want to hold this to myself. I want to keep this to myself. I want to keep all this to myself. I want to, you know, all this glory is mine. It's mine and mine. No. When I mean being self-centered means centered as in you know within you who, Shakti. Everything is Shakti. So that is being self-centered, self-actualized. Because at the end of the day, we want to be self-actualized. You want to actualize your higher self, your greater self. And most importantly, and this is the hardest to do, detach from the outcome. How many of you have experienced the greatest challenge is to manifest your intentions, but yet it's so difficult to detach from the outcome. Good gardeners know that when you plant a seed, remember the first day I started with ground zero, anchoring your feet to the ground, sending your energy as if deep roots going right down to the core of Mother Earth. And we brought up her red, beautiful energy from Mother Earth and flooded our being with her red energy. And then a seed helped to sprout. A seed sprouted with orange energy, the aura of orange, because you are manifesting a seed from your womb where you transform that Mother Earth's energy into a seed. And then you are watering it. All that water element energy is the nourishment. Water is knowledge. Water is pure bliss. Water is all the Shakti, Ganga energy, all that water energy, which is flow, you know, letting it flow, not letting it be static. So you water that. you put all that nourishment and energy into it. And as you put so much intention into your creation, you also therefore evolve with it. We actually grow with our creations. How many of you have worked on a project? How many of you have worked in a particular sector or even on an object that you made, whether it was sculpture, whether it was a song you composed, whether it was a dance that you choreographed, whether it was a play that you directed, whether it was a TV show, or even, yes, I know one of you is a photographer, whether it was a beautiful collection of photos that finally led to an exhibition of your photographic collections in New York. I see New York. New York. Coming. A very big gallery in New York. Coming, my love. And you will take all the things that you learn here and you will manifest it in the form of photography, and it'll be a sublime spiritual experience which will transform people in that very, very crazy, hectic city of New York to come back to Mother's Center. Just one example. All of you, I see amazing potential. I would love to stay connected with you through Zoom calls, through whatever. I promise I will always make time for each and every one of you, because I can see all the waves of beauty coming out of each and every one of you. This is where once you know how to move from balance to transformation to love, to power, to love, and from love to your most highest creative self, and then translate that creativity with mindfulness and intention, unselfish, unbridled, infinite spirit energy to bring your intention to fruition. Ikigai is attainable. You see all these people in Japan who make such beautiful food, such beautiful bonsai plants, such beautiful crafts. Some of the most magnificent handwork I've seen have been in Japan. And then you see all around the world such creativity in all forms of art, music, creation. Even yoga, even your teaching is your highest creation. Now, where do we go with all this? When we want to reach a state of transcendence, we actually have to come to a point where we are actually, okay, I think one of the trainers, I can't remember, one of the coaches said, you come to the stage when you actually go into the higher states of meditation and you actually leave planet Earth and you're actually somewhere in one of the constellations, you're in the big universe, and you look down, but you see Earth and you realize that you're just a speck. You can't even see yourself on Earth. When we reach that stage every day where we know, believe, and be this being that is no longer that little speck of dust. We're never worried that we are just the speck of dust. We're not inconsequential. We are far more powerful than that. We are the universe. We are everything and anything, and we are everywhere, and we are everything and everything in between. We are all one. We are all together. So when you operate at a mode of transcendence, we actually operate in different levels of consciousness. I think some of you may have seen slides on this. I didn't put it up, but we always start with that deep sleep consciousness, right? When we are in deep sleep, some of us in meditation actually were going into that kind of deep sleep. Then you have dream consciousness, where you have visions, where you have recollections. Some of us can have past life recollections, our past life's work. And that's why you see some people come into this world with gifts, musical gifts, creative, artistic gifts. Some people come with knowledge and suddenly they know mathematical equations. Nobody taught them mathematics. They are in this remote village in the middle of nowhere and they can tell you about science and maths. So all this was there and it comes out in your deep sleep and it comes in our dreams. And then we have waking consciousness. Now you are in a state of waking consciousness because after 20 days, you are actually operating, we are all operating in a state of waking consciousness. Your eyes are wide open. You're hearing with that inner consciousness. You're speaking with inner consciousness. You are tasting food, like I told about the rasas. You are tasting food with consciousness. You appreciate everything with consciousness. And then when we move to soul consciousness, we are actually operating really, really with the heart center. I do recall sharing with you that for you to develop your heart-centered consciousness, you actually go through 6 phases. I'll just repeat and a quick recap. You go through a phase of acceptance. Acceptance is key. Accepting whatever the condition we are in at any given moment. Acceptance, right? Acceptance. Right. From acceptance, you move through a stage of compassion. When you accept, you're compassionate with yourself. So a lot of us we can accept others, but sometimes we find it difficult to accept aspects of our own self. Compassion. Compassion starts from within. Compassionate with our own selves. Compassionate with everyone around. Remember, Ma Gyan said, before we start showing all our what we have learned into this world, we have to work on ourselves, work through the Dasma Vidyas. So that means exploring the compassion of mother's compassion, exploring mother's, the state of awareness that mother gives us. Right? Right? And then with that comes humility, because love means being humble to the offerings and all, whatever downloads we receive. Humility helps us transcend and reach the highest state of being. When we are humble enough, we also are able to forgive. Forgiveness is another very powerful and important aspect of transcending. How can we transcend and operate with consciousness if we still have aspects that in our life we have not forgiven? Jeannie took us through some meditations that helped us with forgiveness. I do recall there were segments of Jeannie's session where we actually will experience the heightened states of forgiveness in whatever form that we need to forgive ourselves, forgive others, forgive situations, forgive even aspects of our life, or even forgive even maybe promises we did not keep, even dreams we did not fulfill, goals that we mapped out and yet to fulfill. That's the past. Forgive the past. This is a new day. This is a new you. This is the time for you to reach out to that cosmic consciousness. The cosmic state, the highest state, your crown chakra, moving from your third eye, which is your intuition, your intention, to your crown, to the highest states of fulfillment. When we reach that stage, this is when we really are able to work in a sustainable world. What does it mean to work in a sustainable world? Each of you, we talked about the state of ikigai, what you love, what you can do, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. There are so many people out there, billions of people out there. We can help in our own little way, with our own given Shakti to end poverty and hunger in all forms and ensure dignity and equality, particularly for women and the girl child. Even till today, all around the world, there are girl childs who face female genital mutilation. There are girl childs who are not allowed to have education, like in Afghanistan. There are places where there are no toilets in school so that girls cannot have an education, particularly when they have their periods and need to access toilets for their feminine hygiene. So look at how you can come into this world for the sake of the people, for the sake of the planet. How can you protect our planet, natural resources, and climate for future generations? How many of you here, I remember on day one when I did the meditation with you on working with the nature and working with the planets, and we moved through all the colors and chakras. I asked how many of you feel very close to the Mother Earth? And several of you put up your hands. How many of you feel very close to the water energy? And you know, water and sanitation, water is important. Clean water is going to be vital in the world. Today, there are countries in the world that do not have clean water. There are towns and cities that actually do not have clean water. All we have is chemically treated water that we are drinking. If the next world war is to be fought, it's going to be a war on water. We're already seeing a war on food with the Ukraine war, because now we have a shortage of several types of grains, several types of food supplies. And you know, there's as a way to paralyze Europe and even Africa that depend on the grain that comes out of Ukraine. This is horrific. This is horrific. Food security. And as women, as Shaktis, we can go out into the world and do much more to restore food security in all our communities. You know, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So every time I come to India, seeing the plastic everywhere is like just really difficult to see. And just right before Shakti Kum started, I had this idea: if we could get the funding, if we could get like very wealthy investors to donate, and then we could hire some of the poorest people to help pick up the trash. So people who don't have any money, they make money, and then we pick up the trash. And I just feel like if we could clean up India, like India should be clean. And how do we get the funding, I guess, is the main thing.
So that would lead to the next quadrant, partnerships. I have found for all the projects that I've done over the worldwide, I didn't have to come with the money. I didn't have to come with the technology. I didn't have to come with the bureaucracy and cutting all the red tapes with governments and everything. I worked with all these partners, funding partners, knowledge partners, technology partners, government partners, NGO partners, foundations, get partners. Yeah. So partnership is important because our Shaktis have to be mobilized through partnership. Look at us. We're all partners. I take it with great faith, love, and joy that we are all partners with Shakti, right? So this is already a powerful partnership that has come together. Now go out in the world and bring more partners. Yes.
When the idea of Shakti Kumbh came, and even now, there's zero budget. Okay, zero. But the partnerships are what put it together and said, okay, let's put the word out, and whoever signs up, this is what we will charge, make it affordable enough, and then it'll pay for itself. So we didn't start by saying, oh, where's the sponsor? Where's the funding? Shakti Kumbh would not have happened.
Yes, yes.
So we just went with the inspiration and created the partnerships and then put together a way in which it could fund itself.
Makes sense. Yes.
Hi, I'm from Japan. That's why I just want to mention that, like we are sisters, so I feel very close. And then I really appreciate you mentioned about this Ikigai and then the Satori and then Kensho. These are the words that we hear. And then I'm really, really grateful that you are connecting the world West and then the East also, because we really have to be together. And then I was a former UN United Nations staff. And then, the Sustainable Development, the goals SDG is by 2030. Basically, we have 7 years to go, but we are pretty much way behind the goals because of the war and the climate change, the environment issues, as I mentioned, and then way, way, way behind. So my question to you, I really feel that we gotta step up, each one of us. And then we, the Mother Nature, what you've been talking here, we, the women, have to really, pitch up because the words and then, I mean, we're the mother of these soldiers, and then just doesn't make sense. Those killing our sons and there, and then why the artificial intelligence, and then the what you call this on the
AI, all
no,
that.
AI, this thing.
Using drones and all the
The drone can kill people. Why are we sending these beautiful bodies, our sons sending to the world, you know? So we just have to be step up and then be extraordinary, meaning doing extra thing
correct.
to
Correct.
ordinary self. So can it really, when we, this group, go back to where we are, and then really not each one of us have to do something.
Yes,
So can
of
you
course. Yes.
show us and encourage us like a exact example of what can we really make the difference? Thank you.
So that segues into the other two components, which is prosperity and peace. We know that Mother Earth is being just completely abused, used, desecrated, and everything. We need to restore the balance. When we ensure prosperous and fulfilling lives in harmony with nature, we are actually Shaktis who are restoring the balance. So for every technology or invention or biochemical warfare or whatever, or COVID virus or whatever that was created in some laboratory, may the Shaktis rise up and create other things that will actually prosper the well-being, the wellness, and the sustenance of our planet and our people. We have the propensity to make sure that we have prosperous lives. We have capabilities to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies. These are, as you say, you worked with the United Nations, so you know these are a distillation of the UN SDGs. They are 26 Sustainable Development Goals. Those are huge goals. But however, at the heart of all those huge goals are these: people, planet, prosperity, partnership, and peace. In each of us lies the potential to do something, to reach out, to communicate. If we are good in communication, you're good in social media, you're good in teaching, you're good in writings, you're good in creating movies, songs, plays, whatever. Bring the messages alive. Bring all Mother's teachings alive. Everything that we have learned here for the last 20 days, there's some aspect that can help us prosper. There's some aspect that can help people live more peacefully instead of going to war, right? There's some aspect that can bring people together in partnership to work, live, and be at peace with the planet. How can we support Mother Earth? Back to the foundation that we are in. We are not on some other planet. We didn't go to Pluto. We didn't go to Jupiter, although it's supposed to be beautiful in Jupiter. We are here amidst all that poverty, amidst all that suffering, but also amidst all that potential. You see, every time I see a poor person, I see potential. I've moved from crying when I saw the Brazilian circus children who were literally half naked without shoes. Remember, I told you the story on my first day. I was training all of you guys. And I've moved from that to not just crying when I see poverty, but to having something well up inside me that I must do something to end poverty. So then I channel, like I've worked with all of you to channel through all the avenues possible. So now is the time for you to channel. And I would love for you now, you have now put this 5 people, that your Shakti leadership. How are you going to be a Shakti leader working with people? How are you going to be a Shakti leader for the planet? How are you going to be a Shakti leader to bring prosperity to yourself and others? How are you going to be a Shakti leader to mobilize partners? And how are you going to be a Shakti leader to be the peace in the chaos?
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
Now that we are in this moment of peace, I would like you to take out the 10 peace cards that I have gifted you in that little deck that I gave you. I will just very quickly go through those 10 cards with you. They are 10 cards that you can hold and keep with you and look at, meditate on. They are cards with designs. I would like to share with you that the design was produced by a 9-year-old girl called Priyanka in Perth, Australia. Priyanka is my grandniece and she's a gifted child. Yes, sorry? Sorry? Oh, there's plenty here. Please come up and take the deck. And I know that some of the participants did not come to this session. Once we end, please take the balance and reach out to look around and see who's missing later, okay? Look around, see who did not come this morning for various reasons. They are not here. Let them not be deprived. These cards are really, really beautiful. So the designs were all done by Priyanka in Perth, Australia. She's a 9-year-old girl who's my grandniece. But if you flip over, they are peace affirmations. They are peace inspiration. So if we look at revisit, if you wish to revisit any aspect of Shakti Kumbh, sacred memories soothe my soul. And haven't we had so many sacred memories to revisit? Right? And if you turn over, Priyanka came up with something that when I looked at it and I went into deep meditation, it looked like the first period of a girl, that first pink staining, you know. And she hasn't even had her period yet. She's 9 years old. And she came up with something that to me, this it could mean anything to all of you. Each of you will see something. Please don't let me convince you of something. This is what I saw, my personal meditation. I saw the first pinkness of femininity there. Then there is the card called retain. So you have revisited everything in Shakti Kumbh. What are you going to retain? Peace is maintaining the pact I made with myself. Peace is maintaining the pact I made with myself. I retain everything from Shakti Kumbh. Receive. Always be in the mode of receiving. Peace knocks at the door and life surprises. Life replies. A pleasant surprise awaits you. Here's a message saying Shakti Kumbh 2024 is happening. Receive that and let's receive with grace. Everything that has come here, we have received with love, with joy, with peace, and with grace. Rise. Oh, sorry, I didn't go through the visuals, yeah? So for retain, we had this beautiful purple light energy, which to me was retaining with all that insights that came from the third eye, through the third eye. retaining with the third eye in the mode of intuition. Now, receive, look at that again, beams of light, right? You have darkness here, you have that blue ray. I saw Nilima surrounded by a blue ray the other day. I told Nilima that, I said, that blue is that beautiful blue, you know, that's that between that indigo and violet, you know. And then you have that yellow light, that beam of 1,000 suns that we did after the Gayatri mantra. And that is in the mode of receiving. Then we have the inspiration card for rice. Rice has all these beautiful, I'm not sure if they are butterflies or flowers, but they are definitely rising up. And the affirmation is, with peace in my heart, I reach out and rise up vibrantly. Remember, some of the trainers have told us to be vibrant. If I remember, even Ma Gyan, remember Ma Gyan said, when we invoke the Dasma Vidyas, do it with vibrance, right? Vibrance is as the heart of all of us. Then we have the card called race. Race, we have, she saw it as all the birds and all the fishes and raising up our awareness for Mother Nature, raising up our action in the mode of action for planet, for environment. A 9-year-old child wants us to do more for the birds, for the fishes, for the land, for the ocean. And she says, decency to yourself and others is the bridge to peace. She reminds us to be decent not just for ourselves, but for others, and be the bridge to peace. Peace with the animal kingdom, peace with the plant kingdom, peace in all our work, our industries, and in our communities. Then we have reprise. Reprise, she came up with the tortoise shell. Sometimes we all need to be tortoise or turtles. We'll all just retract, you know. There are days we don't even want to leave our home. Sometimes we don't even want to leave our bed. We just want to go into a cocoon with our little quilt and just feels nice and warm. And that's good too. Sometimes we just need to withdraw, to go within, to step away, to just, you know, bring all our limbs together. And this is a state of reprise. Peace will help me stand up again. Bring out those limbs. Reach out, stand up, move, and move from that lovely state of slumber and retrospection to relight, which is the next one. Relight. I may feel I have a right to be angry and frustrated, but my way will be unclear without peace. I may feel I have a right to be angry and frustrated, but my way will be unclear without peace. So relight the Shakti. When you have those moments, those negative influences around you, relight your Shakti. She was always there. When we lit the flames yesterday, when we did that Siri Jodi Puja, that is so potent and powerful, right? That Siri Jodi Puja was relighting every aspect of Mother's essence within us that we may have ignored, submerged, forgotten, ignored, whatever, or just plain we're afraid. Many of us are afraid of the Shakti within us. And Ma Gyan has told us, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of Kali. Don't be afraid of Bhairavi. Don't be afraid of all the versions of Shakti. Because then we are denying ourselves. We are denying our essence. We are foregoing our peace. Then we have these beautiful purple waves in this stream of white. And all those essence, you can see, it's almost like bubbling up. It's almost as if water became steam and steam became ether and ether went into the cosmos. And I wonder how this 9-year-old girl came up with this. But revel, she says, revel in the clear, pristine ocean waters. Wash over me like waves of peace. Clear, pristine ocean waters wash over me like waves of peace. And when we are like the waves of the ocean, this is like the Gayatri Mantra. I always experience the Gayatri Mantra as waves and waves and waves of bliss, waves of enlightenment. I have found some of the best things I've created, whether the food that I have produced or the things that I have, the projects that I have conceived, or even the messages that have come to me that I put down on paper or on my laptop and shared with people in my programs or in projects or the missions that I have been in with my team. They have all come from waves and waves of Gayatri's blessing. I'm forever grateful that Gayatri is working through me in a lot of some of my greatest knowledge work. When I'm a knowledge worker, when I'm a knowledge creator, when I'm a peace worker, when I'm a diplomat. Many times I've worked as a diplomat. I've worked as a mediator. I have trained. I have a double postgraduate from Canada, the Justice Institute of British Columbia, and the University of Calgary in international negotiation, peace negotiation, and mediation. So it has served me well in my work with the United Nations and with a lot of governments around the world. But I think at the end of the day, the last one, the last card, it's not to diminish all the other cards, but my dear Shakti sisters, be radiance. Be mother's radiance. See this? This is us. This is us. Mother's radiance. I am aglow with the sunrise and feel peaceful with the setting sun. Mother will flower. Mother will emanate her essence. Mother is there. Mother will work through the 10 piece cards with us. The words of the cards were actually by Kamini Arichandran, who is my niece, who's an author and a poetess. And she's also a special child, but she's overcome all her special difficulties in this world to find herself in poetry and in writing. So a special child who has become a writer and a poet, join hands with a gifted child who is 9 years old, who put her heart and soul into these designs for you lovely ladies. There's a lot more cards with after my session. You can pick up a lot more and take with you. I'm just going to quickly show you the video, the little short video of this little girl, and then we are going to do a closing. Okay, we are going to finish with that.
Hello, my name is Priyanka and I'm 10 years old. I really love art. I love painting, I love drawing, I love doing craft, and I love to make slime. I also love to share my art with everyone. One day, my father said to me, "Your auntie wants you to draw on these cards that she has written." I was delighted, so I printed them out and read them one by one. I am aglow with the sunrise and feel peaceful with the setting sun. Sacred memories soothe my soul. As I read these beautiful words, colors and ideas came to me, so I quickly drew them on my tablet so I would not forget. I managed to get them done in a short period of time. Then I sent them to my auntie and waited. Finally, I got to see my work published, and I felt fulfilled to see what I had done. I am so happy that these cards will be shared at the Shakti Coup with you, and I hope that the words and the pictures inspire you as the words has inspired me to draw them. Enjoy.
I just find it fascinating. The last time I was in India and the only other time I was in India was in 2011. And the same cycle is coming back for me. When I left India, the same version of the Gayatri Mantra was given to me, and I couldn't stop playing it for months and months. I just left it on play, repeat, repeat, repeat. What came up for me was over and over, I couldn't stop thinking about conservation and preservation and water and peace and speech and putting together documentaries. I have a background in videography and I haven't been using it. So that was what was bubbling for me. So I will see what Ma allows to flow through me when I return home.
I think you have something to share.
I do, thank you. It was so beautiful. And for me, it was maybe a bit more of a Durga energy that came. That change comes with radical self responsibility and honesty. It comes with dropping the veil of illusion. That perhaps the pollution on this earth is not from poor people in India or Brazil who live close to the earth and work with natural materials. The US is the biggest consumer and importer in the world. When I lived in New York, I never saw so much waste, consumption, and packaging in my life. So, what was coming up for me in the meditation, it's one world, there's no separation. And sometimes pointing over there separates us from being able to take action over here.
We'd love you to share what you see of yourself in this to be a Shakti for a sustainable world. Shakti for a sustainable world. How are you going to manifest this after this 20 days, 21 days?
So what it came for me, it was actually education.
Very
How we
good.
can show the young generations about, like being less consuming, but also we as adults, like just learning a little bit about how we can minimize what we are consuming, in terms of either packaging or buying things that we sometimes feel that they are necessary to have. But in a way, they are mostly like extra things. So I really saw myself educating people in those manners. Yeah.
Very good. Education is the key. Education is very important, in fact. And women, we are natural at educating. Yeah. Yeah. Any others, please? Please feel free to share. Your Gayatri mantra moment, your Gayatri meditation moment is very, very profound. Please share.
So interestingly, I kept thinking of which is the fifth P. I thought people, planet, prosperity, peace, and I couldn't remember the fifth P.
Partnership.
Then I know what I'm missing is in my shadow, and that is what I need to go and surface. And so when I saw its partnership, I said, of course, I'm 56. I've spent years and years working. I've reached a level of competence working alone. And my next level of growth is working in partnership. And the big work I know we need to do is the yoga of collaboration, because when you by yourself, you're amazing, right? You achieve a level of competence. Put yourself together with one another person and try and work together. All your stuff comes up, right? That itself becomes a yoga. So you have a big vision. You want to do a big project together, but the first thing that shows up is all your own shadow stuff that gets triggered in each other. So the great work of my time right now is to figure out, how do you collaborate? Because until we figure out the inner work of partnerships, I don't think we are going to solve the big, hairy problems. So whether I want it or not, I can't go and sit in my little cave in Pondicherry or Rishikesh. It looks like my work is more partnerships.
Very good, Nilima. Looking so excited to hear about your partnerships. Anyone else, please? This is a time for sharing, bringing out your Shakti.
Yes, thank you, Nilima. That is my thing too. I need to find more partnerships. Or find people that supports me or have the same vision as I. And I'm doing something after I return from. I'm staying here for the yoga festival, and then I'm going to Mumbai for a few days. And 6 years ago, I did this project. I went to shelters for children that have been rescued from trafficking and child marriage and poverty and homelessness, and I photographed them. And I raised I went to Mumbai and Calcutta and Dhaka and Kathmandu, and I made this beautiful little book, and I raised $2,000 in a GoFundMe campaign. And now I'm going back to Mumbai because of something Sadhviji said in one of her satsangs, that she, instead of crying because of all the poor children, she gets up and do something. So I'm going back there and I'm going to photograph them again. But I want to do something more. And I also have to open my mind to the possibilities of reaching out. And that is my shadow side. I have an insecurity. I don't think I'm good enough. So I'm doing this project for them. I'm just going to take pictures they want. But I want to, and also what you said about the photo exhibit, I want to think bigger and be more. And I also have to, my confidence, I have to build my confidence and really believe that I can do it. But I can't do it alone. So I just have to reach out.
Yeah.
So,
Most of us actually are playing a small game.
yeah. So thank you.
Shaktikum is to raise us to the biggest game ever. Mother's game, mother's playfulness, mother's magic, mother's love, mother's joy, mother's fulfillment, mother's purpose, mother's intention, mother's power. Embrace it, unleash it. The world needs us, and we need the world. We are the world.
If I could have that level of beauty, grace, sweetness, Ma, what a joy, and just a small, small token of our deepest love. Thank you for just having poured your love upon us. We received it all. Thank you so much.